Block my driveway? I'll go ahead and take your vehicles. So I live out in the country in Virginia, about 30 minutes from the nearest town. It's usually pretty quiet out here, which is exactly why I moved here 5 years ago. I've got a nice little property at the end of a dirt road cul-de-sac. It's nothing fancy, just a small 3-bedroom house with a decent yard and a workshop where I tinker with my trucks when I'm not working. The road leading to my place is narrow as hell, basically one car width with a few spots where you can pull over if someone's coming the other way. I work for Thompson's Towing and Recovery. Been there about 7 years now. We handle everything from basic roadside assistance to heavy recovery work. I started as a driver but worked my way up to shift manager. The pay is decent, and I like the work. There's something satisfying about helping people out of bad situations, even if they're not always happy to see you. This weekend, I'm on the state police towing rotation, which means I'm basically on call for any wrecks, DUIs, or impounds the cops need handled. It can be a pain in the ass sometimes, but the money's good, and it keeps things interesting. When you're on rotation, you've got exactly 25 minutes to get to wherever they need you once you receive the call. Miss that window too many times, and you get bumped from the rotation list. My neighbors, the Wilsons, moved in about a year ago. They're a couple in their 40s with 2 teenage kids. They seemed nice enough at first, but they've started having these parties that get pretty wild. I don't mind a good time, but their parties have been getting bigger and louder lately. Yesterday was Friday, and I noticed cars starting to pull in next door around 6 p.m., more than usual. I figured I should give them a heads up since I was on call. I walked over while they were setting up and found Mrs. Wilson, Patricia, hanging up some string lights on their porch. I waved as I approached. "Hey Patricia, looks like you're having a big one tonight." She smiled and nodded. "Yeah, Megan's home from college for the weekend. Thought we'd let her have some friends over." I explained that I was on call and might need to leave at any time during the night. I asked if she could make sure none of their guests blocked my driveway. She seemed totally fine with it, promised to tell everyone where not to park. I even pointed out the no parking signs I'd put up after the last big party they had. We chatted for a few more minutes, and I headed back home feeling pretty good about the whole thing. Around 9 p.m., I noticed the party was getting louder, a lot louder, and there were way more cars than I expected. This wasn't just some friends, this was looking like half the county was showing up. Still, none of them were blocking my driveway yet, so I just minded my business. I spent the evening watching some Netflix and doing a bit of paperwork. The rotation had been quiet so far, which was unusual for a Friday night. Usually, we get at least a couple of drunk drivers or fender benders. I was just thinking about heading to bed when my phone rang around 12:30 a.m. It was my boss, Mike. "Hey, can you head out to that multi-car accident on Route 29? Sounds like we'll need both the rotator and the light-duty flatbed." "No problem," I told him. "I'll head out now." I got my boots on, grabbed my high-vis jacket, and collected my gear. When I stepped outside, the party next door was in full swing. The music was blasting so loud I could feel the bass from my porch. There were people everywhere, not just inside the house but all over their yard, and they definitely weren't just college kids. Most looked like high schoolers, and they were all clearly wasted. I walked to my truck, and that's when I saw it. The rest of the story is completely finished on my page or pinned in the comments where I show these kids some respect.